Hello, I'm still Teo. This is still Ever17. And the lights are back on. The light poured down, illuminating even the corners of the room. It was like our field of vision had expanded in an instant. 17. What? The lights came on with 17 seconds left in the countdown. What are you talking about? You don't understand? The power came back on with 17 seconds left to count. Oh, I see. I understood what she was saying. I mean, if we would have pushed it at 17 seconds, it would have been just right? Yeah. That would have been something. I wasn't sure if Takeshi was over his anger, but he shouldered the heavy toolbox and left the room. We retraced our path until we were in front of the neutral buoyancy elevator. Oh, and it'll work now because the power's back on. Excellent. The frozen tuna's empty eyes were waiting for us. The elevator we had used coming down had already floated up to the white stock. But to the left, the floor display was lit up with the number 3. That's heavy. Takeshi groaned as he put the toolbox on the floor of the elevator. You sound like an old man. Shut up! I am an old man compared to you. While they needled each other, I pushed the up button next to the door. The internal and external watertight doors had already sealed automatically. We could hear air being sent into the ballast tank under the floor. Finally, the egg-shaped elevator didn't start to float up. Hello? Huh? Are you serious? The sound beneath the floor had stopped and silence had returned. That's deeply problematic. Not again. Why do you keep running into problem after problem? Knowing it was useless, I pushed the up button repeatedly. Of course, A didn't move an inch. Alright, so what do we do? Just as I said that, a monitor just to the right of the round window flickered to life. Takeshi, you, Sarah, kid. Sora, where have you been? We looked everywhere for you. I'm terribly sorry. Please accept my apologies. The image of Sora in the monitor bowed deeply. That's not important right now. Sora, so we fixed the generator? It would appear so. Oh, the fact that, like, Sora disappeared while the generator was off actually adds credence to my earlier theory that she's a hologram. Like, I still don't love the theory, but it's at least plausible-er now. Like, it explains why she was gone while the power was off. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think you know this, but we're in this egg, this A... Yes, I know. The A is not moving, correct? What should we do? First, in regard to the cause, it is likely the result of a decrease in internal air pressure that has made the device incapable of sufficiently expelling the seawater in the ballast tank. In other words, you mean it isn't buoyant enough? Correct. There are a number of feasible methods for making it rise, but in the end, we decided to split into pairs to ride the elevator. In line with the principle of Archimedes, if the buoyancy was insufficient, we had to lighten the load. First, Sarah and I got in the A. Sora and Tsugumi were waiting at White Stock. Good work, you two. Sora beamed a welcoming smile at us. Tsugumi just stood there staring at Sarah and me. Next came you. And then the tuna took the elevator to return to our floor. Glad to see we chose not to leave anyone behind. Would have been a shame if we had lost the most important member of our party. This is gold. I noticed that when Tsugumi saw you cradling the frozen fish, she grinned for the first time. Sora, on the other hand. Takeshi, are you alright? Sora ran up next to the fish in a panic. Naku, you brought along the fish? Of course, it's food after all. Waste not, want not, right? Forget that for now. More importantly, Takeshi... Sora was still flustered and babbling next to the fish. I wondered if she really thought that Takeshi had turned into a tuna. This is all my fault. Oh my gosh, what can I do? I know you're occupied, but... Huh? I think the question is more, what should I do? Wait, did she actually think that Takeshi had turned into a fish? Because that's pretty excellent. I approve of that thought process. Nearly an hour had passed since the power had gone back online. We gathered in the third-floor conference room. Takeshi, Tsugumi, Sora, you, Sarah, and I, all 6 of us were sitting in chairs just letting the time pass. The rescue team still hadn't come. Our situation didn't show any sign of changing. Takeshi's yawn spread from person to person. I desperately tried to keep from yawning. Only Sora had her head down and looked as if she were thinking about something. We were bored silly. I hadn't realized that doing nothing could be so hard. Well, might as well get some exercise. Thinking that, I stood from the chair. What's up? Sarah shot me the question slumped in the chair next to mine. We've got all this time, so I thought I'd go for a little walk. Oh, in that case, can you bring me back something to drink? Huh? Why was this an in that case thing? I'm thirsty. I think there was juice in the kiosk, right? I think so. Okay, thanks. Wait, this is a relevant choice? That's hella funny. Oh, I see. The only reason the choice is relevant is if we bring her back a drink. We, like, get a point towards her route. Okay, well, we're going for Yu's route, so we will reject your request for juice. Take that. I don't think so. Get it yourself. You don't do me a favor. Nope. Why not? You're no use. That's exactly why you shouldn't be asking favors of me. Listen, kid, you've probably got some kind of memory problems you probably don't know. But at times like this, guys are supposed to say sure. I don't think so. No matter how much memory I've lost, I know that much. Do you want me to ask Takeshi? Or maybe not you. Hey, Takeshi. Sarah started calling to Takeshi sitting on the other end of the table. Alright, I got it. Really? I gave up. I was sure that Takeshi and you would side with Sarah. I felt like I had fallen into a trap. You can't complain, no matter what I bring back, okay? Okay. Here we go again. I left the conference room and headed for the kiosk. I had a good idea of where it was from my wanderings around the complex the day before. Also, I'm not gonna lie, the most annoying part about this situation, for me, would not even be the fact that, like, they're all gonna die in 5 days, or, like, the fact that they can't contact the outside world. It would be this constant, like, water around my ankles. Like, they don't have any dry socks between them, I bet. Wet socks suck. I have holes in my sneakers right now, and I'm, like, too lazy to buy new ones, so I have to live with that. My socks are hella wet today. It was pretty tragic. I went through the rest area on the way. Huh? Something had been left on the bench. It was wrapped chicken sandwiches. Oh, baby! Now we're in business. I figured these were probably sandwiches that Takeshi had made and taken to Tsugumi and Sora. I bet that during the blackout they had been forgotten. Alright, I may as well take these along. I took the sandwiches and put them into my pockets. At the kiosk, I started looking for drinks. There was enough food and drinks for us to survive for days. The only food there was chicken sandwiches and the ingredients to make them, but at least we didn't have to worry about food, meaning we were unfortunately fortunate. Wait, isn't, like, one of the ingredients in chicken sandwiches, like, probably mayonnaise? Or, like, even just the chicken, right? Like, presumably you can't leave that out forever. Is there, like, refrigeration inside it? I guess we have power, so I guess the refrigeration... There's no real reason for the refrigeration to not be working? Okay, never mind. Crisis averted. I took 6 cans of cola from the kiosk's freezer. Only Sarah had asked, but I thought I'd take back enough for everyone. How thoughtful. Here we go. Cradling cola in both arms, I started back. Here you go. When I came back, everyone was chatting loudly. Cards were randomly placed on the table face down. Ah, card games. Now we must crush them all. They might have been playing a game. Welcome back. I figured since I was there that I'd bring enough for everyone. Thank you, sir. Sarah took 2 of the 2 cans and... 2 of the 2 cans? What? Should be 2 of the 6 cans. Sarah took 2 of the 6 cans and handed 1 to you. Here you go, Nakyu. Hey, kid. That was sure thoughtful of you. You took the cola from Sarah and popped open the tab. Like a pro, she held the fizz down so it wouldn't explode. She didn't go getting herself all drenched in soda. So what were you all up to with the cards? I put the remaining 4 cans on the table. Mental guts. What? Is that like concentration? What's that? You don't know mental guts? Never heard of it. Oh, I'll bet it went with your memory. It's a super famous game. I realized that I couldn't remember even these kinds of things. I wondered if I should have been more uneasy about my lost memory than I was. First, I thought I'd have a cola. Oh, by the way, I also brought these. I remembered the sandwiches, and holding the can in my right hand, plunged my hand into my left pocket. Eh, what? This here. I removed a wrapped sandwich. Huh? Where'd you get that? Did you make it? It was on the bench in the rest area. Didn't you leave it there, Takeshi? Oh, yeah, it's the one I forgot to give to Sora. I left it there during the blackout hubbub. I thought that somebody might be hungry. Oh, great. You're so thoughtful. You rushed over and violently mussed up my hair. Oh, that's right, I have another one. Feeling good about myself, I put the can in my other hand and went to get the sandwich from my right pocket. What's the matter? It's gone. There's nothing in my right pocket. That's weird. Did you drop it? No way. I didn't think I could have dropped it. Somehow, I felt there was something odd going on. That's weird. Like, as sort of a hint, there's not much for me to draw from that. Is there a pickpocket? It feels like it would be super difficult to pick pockets in this situation though, right? Because like if you tried to sneak up behind someone, it makes splashing sounds, because the floor's covered in water. Like, is his memory just super messed up? I'm not sure what my takeaway is supposed to be here. Alright, then this is Sora's. Looking, I saw Takeshi holding the sandwich out towards Sora. You're eating breakfast, right? No, I'm fine. Don't be polite. I made this. I'm sure it tastes good. Still. Hey, I'm not kidding. I'll vouch for him. They're pretty good. Me too. Sarah and I both raised our hands in a show of agreement. Sora, what, you can't eat my food? That's not it. And what is it? Eat too much yesterday? Or are you on a diet? No, but No, you have to eat or you'll get weak. Here, take it. He tossed the cola and chicken sandwich towards Sora. If they go through her right here, I'm gonna feel like a genius. They traced a gentle arc through the air. Ah! Sora suddenly reached out her hands. She reached them out, but... I'm so good at this game! But Sora didn't catch them. No, she couldn't catch them. She didn't avoid them. It wasn't that she was too slow. Sora was there with her hands extended into space. The sandwich had fallen at her feet. The cola had violently slammed into the wall behind her and exploded. The spewing cola didn't get Sora wet. The droplets looked like they flew through Sora's body. I'm so good at this game! Who's a genius? I'm a genius. Man, I'm being insufferable for the next 3 minutes or so. The sandwich wrapper covered the silhouette of Sora's sandal. It was as if the two had melded together. Huh? Takeshi wasn't the only one surprised. I was confused and without a clue. It could have been that it seemed odd because I didn't know from the start. Or maybe it seemed strange because I'd forgotten it. So all I could do was sit there with my mouth agape, my eyes staring at the spectacle. That's why I said I didn't need it. Sora made an embarrassed-looking expression. What?! No, that's what Takeshi looked completely puzzled. I meant to toss them as if I were handing them over. That's weird. Your hand must have slipped. I don't think that's what happened. Excuse me, Takeshi, there's nothing strange about it. But the cola blew up and... Is your clothing alright? Yes? But you're... stepping on the sandwich. Your foot... You've got no toes, Sora! Oh, my gosh. Sorry about that. And just like that, Sora's vanished toes reappeared. But the place where the sandwich was supposed to be wavered unsteadily. I didn't have any idea what all it meant. I guess, Takeshi, that you didn't know? Sora was shuffling embarrassedly. Sora, what in the world are you? I assume she's like an offshoot of the supercomputer, given that they've mentioned that several times. For some reason, you gave a huge sigh right next to Takeshi. Oh, right. I think you knew about this. I can't remember where I got that context from, but I think there have been lines in the past suggesting that you... Oh, I think it might have come up when we were talking about decompression sickness, where where Kid was like, so why doesn't Sora need to go in the decompression chamber? And you was like, don't worry about it. And Kid was like, I'm gonna worry about it. And he's like, don't worry about it. And Kid's like, okay. I think that might have been it, but I definitely remember there being lines where it was implied that you knew, in retrospect, of course, that Sora was a hologram. And then... she burst out laughing. I just had to watch because it was so funny, Takeshi. You really don't listen to anything. What are you talking about? Takeshi was still confused. The explanation at the park entrance. So what about it? Looking around, only Takeshi and I were surprised. A strange expression floated onto Sarah's face, but it seemed like she knew what was going on. Tsugumi's face was blank. Apart from Takeshi, it seemed like nobody felt this was anything to be that surprised about. Jeez. Tsugumi stood up as if irritated. I can't watch any more of this. It's ridiculous. Oh! So if Sora isn't actually a life signature, then that means the dog could still be in the complex. And that also explains why it's going down to 5, right? Because when it went down to 5, all of the non-pink-haired characters were accounted for, like, in the control room. Except for Tsugumi, which I originally thought was the reason it was going down to 5 was because Tsugumi was going out of range or whatever. But it was Coco and the dog. Okay. That makes sense. I don't know if it's correct, but it makes sense. I can't watch any more of this. It's ridiculous. After spitting out those words, she left the conference room. Maybe we were used to it, but we just watched her go. No one tried to stop her. We'll just leave Tsugumi be. Sora, sorry to bother you, but could you introduce yourself again? Yes, of course. The punctured can had stopped fizzing. Sora took a step forward towards us, carefully as if to avoid the sandwich, and straightened up. After a slight bow, she spoke. I am Sora Akane Gatsaki. My official name is LMRSDS-4913A. I'm an artificial intelligence, or AI, program in charge of guiding visitors around Limu. I wonder if we would have found that out at the beginning if we had chosen not to listen to Coco's joke. I assume not, because this is supposed to be like a plot twist, right? So I assume that even if we tried to listen to her whole explanation at the beginning, we still wouldn't know about this. But the fact that, like, this game has, or this setting rather, has hologram technology strong enough to, like, make a persistent image that, like, goes over real stuff is really interesting from the perspective of, like, mysteries that can sort of be created and solved through that method. Like, that's definitely something that it's, like, weird enough that I would be surprised if they didn't reuse it in some capacity as part of some overarching history. Like, maybe Coco has been, like, around here all along, she just has, like, a cloaking field around her. Because, like, if they can sort of delete the sandwich from the floor, like, cover that up with Sora's hologram, then it makes sense that you would... Like, it's sci-fi, right? So you can probably pull off having somebody, like, have active camouflage with the background or what have you. And maybe not Coco, maybe somebody else is invisible here. Or something to that effect. I would be very surprised if they didn't reuse the hologram technology as a plot point. I've been programmed as one part of the Lemma system. If you call me from any nearby terminal, I'll soon appear anywhere within Limu. My image reaches you through a network supporting this RSD system throughout the complex. I think there are few places in the world boasting this kind of technology. So it's RSD. But I've never seen one this amazing. It's one of Limu's big attractions. So that's why Sora disappeared during the blackout? Yes, I'm sorry to have caused you undue concern. I'd finally lost any sense of what was going on. Takeshi looked flustered as well. The conversation had taken off and left me and Takeshi behind. What's RSD? Simply put, it's an image display system that uses a semiconductor to shine a laser directly on your retina. I see. I nodded. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I thought it might have been because I had no memory. It also seemed that any more questions would stall the conversation. I wonder if this is related to why we still need to have the voice regulators in our ears. Maybe those are connected to the RSD system in some capacity. So I decided to take an I don't get it, but that's okay approach. And it's supporting such an advanced personality. The surprising thing was Sarah seemed to be following the conversation the best. Limu is fairly perfectionist when it comes to virtual space technologies. My existence is one manifestation of that. Doesn't that require a big system? Yes, but it's much smaller than it would have been 10 years ago. How big? Where is it? I'd like to see it. I'm sorry, but I'm not allowed to say. It is a secret. Okay, so that also provides now a motive for an antagonist, right? Like, if they have crazy-ass hologram technology down here, like, who knows what else they have? Like, I wasn't super excited about the steam power generators. We're using, like, steam vents or whatever on the ocean floor to charge, but, like, hologram technology this OP is, like... Now that's something to get worked up about. You weren't given the details? That's correct. Well, this is a bit of a different question, but does Sora's personality change based on her memories? But the conversation was getting more and more technical. Sarah kept badgering Sora with technical questions. Things about samplings and algorithms and structure this and encode that. Jargon was flying around. My head started to hurt. Hey, you? I approached you and tugged on her sleeve. This conversation is crazy complex. What is with Sarah anyway? She is a computer ninja of sorts. Stop with the stupid jokes. You puffed out her cheeks as if pouting. It didn't seem she was in the mood for a comeback. Mayo, she's a hacker. Hacker meaning... is this a relevant choice? Nope. I know what a hacker is. Is Sarah a programmer? Yeah, but she says it's just a hobby. But she's as good as a pro? Just the other day, she got first place in some cracking contest. Cracking contest? It's a contest to break codes. So, just so you know, it's not illegal. It was sponsored by some company with code technology. It was legal cracking to test the security of its technology. The company has hackers attack their algorithms. Kind of like a decryption game contest? Yeah, so white hat stuff. I guess that's one way of putting it. No, so it's a game. Just because you call it a game, I wouldn't take it lightly. There were engineers participating from all over the world. Winning it means that you're one of the world's best hackers. You could even say the best hacker. The best? That's just way too incredible. I know. When it comes to computers, she's a genius. I see. It seemed that you truly couldn't tell who a person was by appearances. Apart from being a little mischievous, she just seemed like a normal girl. But Sarah just kept talking with Sora about things I couldn't comprehend. There was a gap between who she appeared to be and who she really was. I kept staring at Sarah from the side, in a state of semi-awe. In the end, only Takeshi was completely surprised that Sora was an AI. Yu was an employee at Limu, so of course she knew. Before leaving the room, Tsugumi hadn't seemed that surprised. Sarah, as was clear by her questions, had a solid grip on the situation. And the whole situation we were in was so crazy, I didn't know what to be surprised about. Several hours passed. It seemed the sun was getting ready to set. But deep in the ocean, our sense of time was disappearing. Checking my watch was the only way I knew it was the evening. Nothing changed in Limu. No one had come to pay us a visit. But things hadn't gotten worse. Right now, there was no sign of flooding or impending collapse. We'd just been passing the time as we saw fit. For now, we'd all forgotten about not being able to escape. I was in the rest area. I sat on the bench and looked at the blooming flowers without really seeing them. There was no one else around. We were going to meet again at 7. Until then, we had free time. I was thinking about Sora. The revealing of what she really was. Sora's real identity. AI, artificial intelligence, a program, virtual image. Sora didn't really exist. In other words, Sora wasn't a person. But Sora clearly had a will of her own. She could think and act for herself. I knew that much. But with my limited knowledge, everything other than that was beyond me. There were lots of things I couldn't know. I looked down. The floor was covered with a layer of water. The lights in the ceiling were reflected in the water. It was like the cold light of the moon. I poked my finger into the water. Plop. The water rippled and the surface shook. The light in the water fragmented into disarray, finally returning to its original shapes. I reached into the water trying to grab the light. But I could only grab a little seawater. I couldn't touch the light. Yeah, that's how light works. Generally. I tried again and again, but I couldn't get my hand on the moon. So where should I start explaining? I wish you'd start with the basic stuff. Sora was sitting next to me. At least, that is how it appeared to me. I decided to seek out an explanation directly from Sora. I wonder if Sora can multi-table, like, appear in 2 places at once. I don't know if this is, like, relevant to anything, but I'm a little bit curious. Like, I can't see any good reason why she couldn't. What exactly was Sora? It might have been rude asking her outright like this, but I thought that it would be ruder to continue along without really knowing. I see. So we were talking about RSD, right? Yeah. You might be something that you really don't want to talk about. Why would that be? Well, you're not a person, you're Sora, so asking about systems and stuff, it might be kind of personal. Oh, I don't really know how to say it. I just thought that it might be like someone was speaking inside you and kind of unpleasant. My broken explanation brought a soft smile to Sora's face. You don't have to worry about that. What did you just say? I'm Sora. So I am what I am. For example, by explaining about what I am, it is a way for you to better understand me. I squeezed my hand shut. Of course, I wasn't holding anything. Actually, I just explained all of this to Takeshi. Huh? To Takeshi? Yes. Sora gently put her hand on her chest. I'm different from everyone else, but I want to be the same. That is why I want everyone to know about me. Saying that, Sora looked at me and slightly dropped her eyes. I felt like pieces of the puzzle were scattered on the floor. Pieces of the puzzle scattered on the floor of my mind were about to fall into place. As if enticed by her grin, I became quiet. Well, shall I start with an explanation of RSD? I concentrated on what she was saying so as to not miss anything. She placed both of her hands on her chest. Kid, can you see me? Yeah, I see you. I'm standing right next to you. You sure? I'm positive. But... Suddenly Sora faced me and reached out toward me. And then... Mwah! Sora's hand slid without resistance into my chest. Reflexively, I tried to grab her arms. Only my hands met with nothing. My hands were right in front of my chest, but there was nothing there. Yes. So you are seeing me. However, I'm not right next to you. Saying this, Sora pulled her hand back. RSD stands for Retinal Scanning Display. The display device is not actually a display. Rather, a weak laser aimed at the retina. Retina? You mean my eye? Yes. In the ceiling of each room and corridor are semiconductor laser output devices. So the image is being directly reflected onto your retina. Image? Yes, my image. Directly on my retina? Holographic screens typically allow for the objects behind them to be visible. This screen uses the eyeball as a virtual screen and continuously sends an image synthesized with the background scenery. Well, what about your voice? It sounds like your voice is coming from where your mouth appears. Have you ever heard 3D sound? 3D sound? Have you ever listened to music using headphones? Probably. But I can't remember, so I don't know for sure. Ah, that's right. Sorry about that. To answer my own question, most people hear sound as if it's reverberating inside the rear center of their head. Inside their head? I tried to visualize what she meant. A melody playing in my mind. I could get a vague sense of what she said. Yeah, I think I kind of see what you mean. I think I've probably heard something like that before. But the sound is not actually coming from inside your head. I suppose not. But if you could apply this knowledge and adjust the volume from the left and the right to accurately simulate this reverberating sound, then you could create the illusion that a sound was coming from any direction, above or below, left or right. I see. Oh, so that would be the voice converters. I still had both of them in my ears. Oh, okay. So I was half right about the voice converters. It wasn't that they were involved in the hologram in some capacity, but that was what was feeding Sora's voice. That makes sense. I still had both of them in my ears. I removed them. They were about the size of my little finger. In front of me, Sora's mouth moved soundlessly. It was like I couldn't hear her voice. That wasn't at all. Then her image started to get a little fuzzy. Oh, huh. That's weird. So the voice converter was involved with the hologram in some capacity? Huh? When I replaced the voice converters, Sora returned to normal. The image's position is based on the location of the voice converters. Oh! That's kind of clever. I hadn't considered that. So, wherever you stand in whichever direction you face. Lem is constantly using sensors around the complex that monitor the position of the voice converters to the millimeter. So that when I am 60 feet behind you, my voice will sound as if I am exactly 60 feet behind you. When I'm to the right, it sounds to the right. When to the left, it sounds to the left. When I'm under you, it sounds... Under? When are you under? Kids. Well... Anyway, that's how it works. Do you understand? There are kids watching, guys, so try and keep this to, like, PG-13. I say while constantly swearing, so, like, realistically it's like, R-rated. Now, try to face a little to the left. I faced to the left, as she said. Sora stood and moved around to my right. Just a moment ago I said that Lem is constantly monitoring your position and direction you're facing. At the same time, Lem is also monitoring the position of your eyeballs. So that even if you move, I still appear in the same place. That means that Lem has scanned the image onto your eye in this way. So, you can be made to suddenly disappear or reappear in another place? Do you want to see it? Oh, she can teleport. No, I think I'll pass. I suddenly imagined Sora disappearing and fleeting around here and there. Somehow, it's kind of like a ghost. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Being in the same place and looking at the same thing, only some people can see it and some people can't. I've never seen one, but if ghosts really do exist, I imagine they exist much the same way I do. Well, now I get it. But there's something else that bothers me. What is that? Sora, so you can't be in more than one place at one time? Oh hey, they're gonna answer my question from earlier. Nice. For example, you couldn't be in one room talking to me and another talking with Sarah? Like, is that just too much strain on the main computer, or what? Theoretically, it is possible. Oh, okay, there we go. However, the way I'm designed, I can't do that. Why not? I imagine it's to help maintain an image of reality for visitors. I mean, I guess. I mean, that makes some degree of sense, but at the same time, like, it'd be super sweet to just have an army of them. So there's only one Sora in the world. Without that kind of setting, visitors would get confused. That, and it was the policy of my designer. The policy of my designer was to create me as a character with an independent personality. That reminds me, I've heard the same thing about the United Land characters. There's only one of each character in the park. Like in a story, there can't be any one character in two places at the same time. The time for our gathering was getting near, so Sora and I headed to the conference room. It seemed strange that Sora, who could teleport anywhere instantly, was walking. Maybe she was doing it to humor me. I was wondering about the laser retina scan. So if I were in a place that the laser couldn't reach, and I couldn't see you? Of course not, but scanning devices are located in every room of the complex, and there are mirrors embedded in the walls, ceilings, and floors to reflect the images. So almost no matter where you are, I can be displayed. So there are no blind spots. That's the way it's designed. However, there's one major flaw. Flaw? I'm only seen when someone looks at me. What? I mean, duh? I mean, that I cease to exist when no one is looking at me. For example, if the 5 of you here all closed your eyes at once, at that moment, I would cease to exist. I casually held my hands up in front of my eyes. I covered my view forward and looked down near my feet. There's no sign of Sora next to me. It was as if she had vanished, or never been there in the first place. Surprised, I removed my hand and Sora reappeared in the corridor. The outline of Sora's sandals blurred dimly in the water. Someone has to see me. I have to be seen in order to exist. Vision. That someone's eye actually creates me. Kid. When you close your eyes, I disappear. Oh, okay. Hey, that was a thing from the opening! Man! I initially thought that was going to be literal, and then I thought I was overthinking it, and it turned out to be actually literal. That's super funny. Eventually, we reached the conference room. Sora's face was one big smile, but somewhere in her smile seemed a hint of sadness. At least, it appeared that way to me. It was nighttime. In the ocean, it was only slightly darker than before. Fortunately, the damage to Limu hadn't worsened. I had a light dinner, eating the chicken sandwich that Takeshi had made. Incidentally, we had gotten rid of that frozen tuna because no one knew how to cut it up. After eating, there was really nothing to do. Takeshi's yawn was contagious. Gosh, I'm sleepy. Well, there's really nothing to do either. Everyone was slouched in chairs, just spacing out. There's no impending danger, no new developments. Her situation was unchanged and it felt like time had stopped. Takeshi, you're such a slob, you said, but she sounded tired. And stop dawdling. Look, there's no reason to go wandering around the complex now, right? We're just gonna have to wait for help to come anyway, right? Yeah, I suppose. Alright, I'm off for a little bit. Rubbing her neck and trying to relax her stiff shoulders, Yu stood up. What, are you going somewhere? Yeah, nowhere in particular, just a walk. I've got to move around or I'll get tired. Hey, I've got a great idea. Sarah raised her hand and stood. An idea? Ladies and gentlemen, we shall partake in a game to give us some exercise. Alright, what kind of game? Ninja tag. That might be a bit... Well, how about normal tag? Sora seemed up for the idea. Wait a minute, isn't Sora just like super OP at tag? Like, she can teleport. That feels like it fundamentally breaks the game of tag. I suppose that would be okay. Alright everybody, let's play. Hey, you expect me to play some kids game? What about you, kid? In or out? What, me too? We've been talking about everyone participating, so you're playing too. I'm not going to play. I'm out too. Wow, what a bunch of buzzkills. I meant that everyone apart from Tsugumi is playing anyway. I said I'm out. Alright, I'm in. I was pretty much sick of the boredom. Alright, it's settled. We have 5 competitors vying for the title of champion. You, Sarah, Sora, Takeshi, and the kid. Poor Takeshi. No one listens to him. But don't you think normal tag would be boring? You're right. How about kick the can? Sora, you sure have good grasp of simple games like this. Not that something a little out of the ordinary. Not that, something a little out of the ordinary. We all thought. And then... oh well. Tsugumi stood up from her chair sluggishly. She walked briskly toward the center of the room. And flipped off the light switch. Uh-oh. Well, what are you thinking? It's dark. How about that? Satisfied? I'm fed up. Even I'm about to go crazy. Tsugumi shot us a nasty look and left the room. What was that about? Who knows? Maybe we were talking too much for her. But still, why turn out the lights? What does she mean, even her? She's the one that's lost it. But she'll be back after a while. Hey, kid, would you mind getting the light? Sure. I went to go switch on the lights. Wait! What is it? Since the lights are off, why don't we try the game with them off? Huh? We'll play tag. No, take the can in the dark. Sarah took one of the empty cans from the table. We'll call it Yamioni. That sounds cool. Let's go with that. Dark Ogre, for those of you who are curious. I concur. It's a bit more exciting than normal tag. Of course, Takeshi's good with it, right? Jeez, whatever. So we unanimously agreed, except for Tsugumi, to play Kick the Can in the Dark. We decided who was it using rock, paper, scissors. Ready, set, go! Damn, I lost. Takeshi was out in the first try. Alright, so Takeshi is it first. Wait, how does Kick the Can work? Like, I had to just assume when they said kick the can, like everyone kicks a can and whoever kicks it the farthest wins. This is not a game that I was exposed to in my childhood. But, like, it sounds like that's not the case. If there's an it, and it's like a tag variant? Like, you have to, like, kick the can at somebody? Is that how you... is it like how you tag them? I'm super confused. And settled. Good luck. Everyone was grinning at Takeshi. Takeshi looked about as sorry as it was possible for him to look. Here you go, Takeshi. I handed the empty can to Takeshi. What? Hiding anywhere is okay, as long as it's on this 3rd floor. Alright, let's hide. Wait, there's hiding involved? I'm pretty sure tag doesn't usually involve hiding, it involves running. No, I guess it does, maybe. Involve hiding. No, that's like hide and seek. Clearly, I am not an expert in kids' games. Ready? Wait a sec. Takeshi held up a hand hurriedly, stopping you from sending everyone off. What'd you just say? Let's hide. No, before that. You can hide anywhere on this 3rd floor. Are you serious? Not just the conference room? Wait, the conference room is tiny. That wouldn't make for much of a game. This room is too small, and there aren't that many places to hide. The whole 3rd floor? Oh, of course, the areas you can't walk from here are off limits. And the emergency corridors and stairs are no good either. And it's still too big. It's not fair to the person that's it. While he's looking, he's sure to get it from someone else. I think it's fine. It's not fine. The game won't work. That is a major problem. Ah, she sure complain a lot. Well, she would certainly appear to be at a disadvantage. I'll dim the lights on the 3rd floor, but in return I will make it so that sounds carry better. If sounds carry, then you can hear when someone moves across a corridor with water. That will give the person who's it an advantage. And I'll make it so that you'll know where people are moving. I'll synthesize footsteps and dispatch the data to voice converters. Alright, well, that sounds better. Oh, but what should I do if I should get to the can first? Huh? Oh. That's right, you can't kick the can! We only just noticed. If we played tag, we would have had to ban Sora from jumping about as an image. Yeah, no shit. Then I'll team up with you. We'll make it so that Sora and I have to be within a yard of each other when we hide or when we're it. Wait, so you, like, put the can somewhere, and then if you get the can, you, like, become it? I'm still super confused on the rules of this game. So I can kick the can, Okay, let's try it this way. Okay, thanks. On top of that, we made Sora promise not to use the bioscanner Limu to monitor the location of anyone. Yeah, that makes it fair then. Alright, all set. It looked like everyone was ready. So I'll count. 1, 2, 3... As Takeshi started counting, we dashed out of the conference room. We left the room in a group. Splash, splash, splash. The sound of our stepping through water sounded deeper than before. I get it, so this is what she meant by making the sound bigger. I thought that we would have to pay attention to which sounds were our own and which others. And we'd have to determine which footsteps belonged to the person that was it. But for the person that was it was easier because everyone else was an enemy. That pretty much negated any advantage we might have had. At least, that was what I thought. After we'd run a fair bit... Okay, stop. You, who'd been running at the front of the pack, stopped us. What's up? If you don't hide, he'll find you. Don't worry about that, just listen. It appears that you have some kind of strategy. Strategy? Yes, exactly right. If we continue like this, then we'll just get all separated and hide. But that increases the chances that we'll lose. That's the way the game works, isn't it? You're so naive. In games, a man is supposed to want to win. I mean, she's not wrong. But aren't you supposed to be a girl, you? I stopped myself from saying that in the nick of time. There's no way to guarantee a win, right? Mayo, is that what you really think? You said this as she played with Sarah's braids. Well, hurry up and tell us already. If you'll think about what we have, and what Takeshi doesn't, then you'll get it in a flash. What we have? What Takeshi doesn't? Is it teamwork? Like, I feel like this would be a much easier, like, hint to decipher if I knew how this game was played. Numbers. We're many. Takeshi is one. Oh, hey, I got it right. Yes, that's it. I don't get it. I am a dumb child. What? These many hints and you still don't get it? Use your head. You put her fingers on Sarah's temples and massaged them teasingly. Oh, stop it! That tickles! Oh, you like it, do you? Stop! I said, I mean it! You're as much of a ditz as ever, Mayo. I know. I've had this problem ever since I was little. What am I saying? I'm not that stupid. Whack! Sarah lightly slapped you on the forehead. Their exchange was enough to make the rest of us feel stupid. This is... Enough of that. Just tell me. Oh well. Listen, kid, would you rather fight one person or 4 people? Either? Good answer. Just pick one. 1, I guess? Why? Against 4 people I wouldn't stand a chance. Right. That's what I mean. Huh? That's what you means by a strategy of numbers. Yep, if we all mob together, then there's nothing the person that it can do. So if someone gets found, someone else just kicks the can. Oh, so it's like, capture the flag? And that if you kick the can, you, like, save everyone who's it? And then the person who's it has to, like, tag everyone? Is that how this game works? And if that person gets caught, then somebody else kicks the can. That's right. So if we all get there at once and unleash an attack, Takeshi won't be able to defend, right? Oh, I get it. So, after we all split up, we'll aim for the can and charge the conference room. Wait a minute, then what's the win condition for the people who aren't it? Because it makes sense if the win condition for the person who's it is to tag everyone before anyone can get to the can. But what's the win condition for, like, the group of 4? After kicking the can, we'll separate again immediately. By repeating this hit and run, we'll win. But isn't that kind of cheating? You have to, like, kick the can a certain number of times? Not at all! Attacking with overwhelming numbers is a basic military strategy. So it's kind of like violence by the masses. Or a democratic strategy. Whatever. In democracy, the majority rules. In other words, those with less number are weak. So we separated and all aimed for the conference room via different routes. But our footsteps were sure loud. Still, if we didn't hurry, Takeshi would find us. I just hoped that someone would get there and kick the can before he found me. Who is that? Oops. Suddenly, Takeshi's voice rang out behind me. I was so concerned with the sound of my own footsteps that I didn't hear him approach. At this distance, there was no way I could get away. I gave up. Oh no, you caught me. Am I the first one? Yep. Dang, it means if you catch everyone, then I'm it next? I reckon so. I wonder if someone will show up to help me. You have to kick the can at somebody who gets tagged? I'm still trying to figure this game out. Takeshi, if you don't go step on the can, then I'll go kick it. Wait, the person who gets tagged can kick the can? I'm super confused. You sure know your kick the can rules? Yeah, I don't. Alright, give me like 30 seconds. I'm gonna look up the rules of this stupid game. Kick the can. Alright, Wikipedia save me. It is a children's game related to tag, hide and seek, and capture the flag, which is played outdoors, with as few to 3 as many as several dozen players. Blah blah blah. If caught indoors, the player is disqualified and is therefore the seeker for the next round. Rather than using a ball, the only piece of equipment is an object that can be kicked. Blah blah blah. Basic playout, here we go. One person or a team of people is designated as it, and a can or similar object, blah blah blah, is placed in an open space, in the middle of a blah 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 blah. The other players run off and hide while it covers his eyes and counts to a previously decided number. It then tries to find and tag each of the players. Any player who is tagged is sent to the holding pen, which is simply a designated area for all captured players to congregate, generally in plain sight of the can. Any player who has not been caught can kick the can. If they can do this without being caught, then all the captured players are set free. Alternatively, one of the captured players is set free each time the can is tipped. Blah blah blah. If it catches all the players, he or she wins that round, and generally a new it is designated for the next round. The new it is usually the person that has been held the longest by the time the round ends. Okay, so I more or less had it right. Where you have a can somewhere, it's basically capture the flag, mixed with tag, but also mixed with hide and seek. Okay, I sort of have a handle on the rules now. I'd more or less intuited it out, but Wikipedia has come to my rescue for the more complete picture. Whack. Wait, I don't think you're allowed to tag the person who's it. Crash. Splash. Suddenly, you came flying from the side and completely sideswept Takeshi with a jumping cross chop to the neck. Blub, blub. Takeshi's head had gone underwater. He was pointing at the submerged Takeshi and cackled crazily. Takeshi, floundering in the water, stood up. Hey, you! I won this battle. I feel like that should be against the rules. Like, you're probably not supposed to be allowed to attack the person who's it. Hey, you, wait! Wait for you to catch me? No, thanks. Hey, you, I'll get you back for that. Just you wait. Takeshi took off in a mad dash after you. Well, I guess I better go kick the can. I strolled leisurely to the conference room. When I entered the room, I found the kid. I stomped on the can. Takeshi pointed at me, declaring this. He was stepping on the can. Yu was near him and looked depressed. It looked like she had lost. Oh no. Ha! Did you really think you could outwit me? Takeshi, you cheat! You changed the place of the can! No one said where we had to put the can, right? Besides, you smacked me, so I figure we're even. Alright, whatever. Anyway, so I'm the first person you caught? You got it. Well, that plan was sure a failure. Huh? What plan? As they were talking, the sound of splashing footsteps could be heard approaching the door. Tween! I'm here! I found Sora and Sarah. Takeshi stepped on the can. Oh, did you get beaten here, you? Things didn't quite work out as planned. Not cute. Don't you think you jumped the gun just a little bit? Wait a minute. They seem to be playing a variant or something. Oh, here we go. In another variation, when it sees or finds a person hiding, it must run back to the can and place one foot on it while saying the found person is in the can. For example, Tim is in the can, before the found person is able to reach the can and tip it. Thus, once a person is found or seen by it, the game becomes a race to the can between the found person and it. Huh. That's weird. I'm not sure how you're supposed to beat the game then, because, like, what is the factor that then motivates the person who's it to leave the area with the can in it? Like, I guess it's like a hide and seek. It has hide and seek elements, so he has to eventually go out and start looking for people, but, like, I don't know. The fact that the people who aren't it don't have a way to win the game makes the game feel kind of lopsided, just because there's no, like, there's like weird incentives. Like, I guess the person who's it is always incentivized to go out and look for people because that's the only way he can advance his game plan, and the people who aren't it want to not be the first person found, so I guess their just incentive is to hide the best. But then there's no real incentive to ever go save people, right? Because, like, you would, as one of the, assuming the goal is to not be it, right? Then it's like, as long as somebody else has gotten tagged before you, you're safe. Right? It's not like you get points for how long you stay alive as a team. I don't know. You said we would all charge together. So that was your plan. Yeah, I thought if we all went for the can at once, you wouldn't be able to stop us. That's pretty tricky. You really think so? You laugh mischievously and with a hint of embarrassment. We gathered in the center of the room. Well, finding all of you is easier than I thought. First of all, mob-style kicking of the can is definitely outlawed. Huh? Why? You think I can stop you if you all come attack at once? Possible. That's why. It takes all the fun out of it. Timing your rush, just right, when the person who's it goes searching, all of that would disappear from the game. Well, alright. You reluctantly agreed to be it the next time. Alright, everyone good with that? Sora, Sarah, and I, everyone nodded. Alright then, you is it next. The can is over there, so you get it. Put it where you want and count. Kabing! Clatter, clatter, clatter. The sound of the can being kicked rang out in the darkness. Wait a minute, what? I'm super confused. Wait, is that Tsugumi? That would be hella funny. Hey, who kicked that? Wasn't me. As soon as she got this out of her mouth, you started to run away. You scoundrel. We all scattered like scared butterflies. I don't know what the deal is, but that was lucky. You said this as she ran. That was a close call. But who kicked the can? All four of us had been found by Takeshi. The rules were that anyone caught couldn't kick the can. It wasn't me or Nakyu. Sora can't kick. I didn't kick it. You don't suppose it was Tsugumi, do you? I mean, the other alternative is Coco, right? But Tsugumi is funnier. Tsugumi? No way. But that's the only possibility. What if Tsugumi wanted to play the whole time? Man, she was just like bluffing with her refusal to play the game. That would be super sweet. That would be a super sweet strategy. Like, feels a little bit like cheating. Being like, no, I don't want to play hide and seek. Or like, I don't want to play tag. And then you go and tag people. Be like, oh, you're it. And they're like, I thought you weren't playing. That feels a little bit like cheating. She was probably just embarrassed to say so. That could have put a new, almost adorable twist on her personality. Oh, we'll have to thank her when we see her. Sora laughed happily as she said this, or Sarah, rather. Alright, let's split up. You proposed this as we reached a T in the corridor. Yeah, let's split up. Good luck! Okay, we'll meet up later. You went left, and Sarah and Sora went to the right. We're gonna go with you here, because that's the route we're trying to do. Oh, Kid, you decided to come this way? Yeah, but where do you plan to hide? I was thinking about that as we speak. Alright, I am thinking about that as we speak. We kept running. Alright, what are we gonna do? As we scan the area for trouble, we look for a hiding place. Unless we hide somewhere unexpected, he'll find us right away. Well, let's go in our room for now. As I said that, I heard something. Somebody is coming. It's probably Mayo and Sora. Probably. We peered through the darkness in the direction of the sound. We could see someone's silhouette. That build could only be... No, it's Takeshi! Really? Hurry, we gotta hide! We dove into the nearest room. It was the elevator hall. What are we gonna do? There's nowhere to hide. I mean, you could hide in the elevator. Takeshi steadily approached. I know, let's hide in there. Huh? Where? His finger was pointing at the elevator that was stuck on its way to White Stock. It was the one that Sarah had been stuck in the day before. The door was still open. First, you lifted me on her shoulders and I hurried into the elevator. Then I pulled her up. We were able to hide just an instant before Takeshi came. We held our breath, watching silently. And if you want to find out whether or not they get caught, you'll have to tune in on next day's episode of Ever17 Ball Z, because that is where I'm closing this video for the evening. So, I will catch y'all later. Thanks for watching.